can talk about. Hey, Track City. I love my city. I love my city.
That's right, everybody. It's time for White House Wednesday with my girl, of course, Ebony McMorris, our White House correspondent for American Urban Radio Network. Also joining us is DC Council member Robert White. Both of you, thank you so much for being on this morning.
Thanks for having us, Sunny.
Absolutely. Now, Ebony, let me start with you. I saw the story and immediately thought, well, this ain't just about DC. This is deeper. Now, walk us through what's happening here.
So, a lot of us saw the stories that came across the news last night. Earlier this week, ICE agents descended on at least 9 DC restaurants, including Millie's, Ghost Burger, Chef Jeff's, and so many others. They did without warrants, without arrest, without any clarity, and that's not enforcement. That's intimidation, many people are saying. Armed officers entered multiple doors at once, some asking for I-9 forms and warning that they would be back. Some saying within 3 days, others getting also a notice. So let's call this what it is. I'm saying it's a national crackdown on immigration labor dressed up as administrative checks, to be truthful. And it's personal for DMV because immigrants are the backbone, not just in DMV, but so many other places, to our local restaurant scenes, from dishwashers to chefs, everything. They help hold the industry up. Councilmember White, I'm glad you were joining us because what's the district's response to these raids, and how is DC stepping up to protect its workers now that many are feeling like they're under siege?
This is even bigger than workers. I started getting texts and calls from parents before I even dropped my daughters off to school about agents coming to schools. Then I heard from restaurants later in the day and heard from other community members about Homeland Security and ICE agents coming into neighborhoods, videos sent to me of people leaving in handcuffs. And here's the deal. Children must be off limits. Schools must be off limits. And when we do this type of enforcement at people's places of work, at our restaurants, that is meant to induce fear. That's not meant to enforce our immigration laws. We all know that folks who are here legally are getting swept up in this, that people who are here legally are being terrorized and are afraid to go to work and afraid to go to school. And so this serves no real purpose. So I'm working with the mayor and the Attorney General and my colleagues on the council to make sure we continue to let our neighbors know, everyone, immigrants and non-immigrants included, that we see you, that we have your back, and we're trying to make sure we have all the legal local resources we can to bear.
Absolutely. Now, Councilman, are you hearing similar concerns from city leaders outside of D.C.? Is there a national conversation happening to push back on this?
Well, we're all in a similar boat, right? No one wants to say too much because this administration is vindictive. And so we want to be careful that we don't do something or say something that causes a backlash on the communities we're trying to protect. So as I'm talking to elected officials from other jurisdictions and particularly from around the region, we're trying to balance protecting residents, speaking up with not taking any action that's going to cause blowback on them. But what I remind myself every day and what I remind other elected officials is that we can't allow our consciousness to erode. And that's one of the things they're trying to do, is to keep pushing us into silence so that our national consciousness erodes, and that moves us backwards. So we can't do that. And so we do have an impossible balance right now as elected officials of figuring out how to support our residents and immigrants included without doing anything that's going to cause them more harm.
Before you go, really quickly, so what are you telling people to do? Whether you're in the restaurant, whether you're in school, whether you're your business, you're finding yourself in this situation. We went over people knowing their rights last week, but what are you directing residents to do?
Perfect question. Here's what to do. Ask people what they need. If you see someone affected or might be affected, ask them what they need and reach out to your local officials. We are here to help. We can help. And we're trying to make sure people who are affected have what they need. But if you see someone, you hear someone who doesn't have what they need, the information, their rights, contact us, your local officials. And my email address is rwhite@dccouncil.gov. You can reach me at robertwhite@large.com as well. But reach out to your local officials no matter where you live.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Just so much important information today. Councilman White, thank you so much for being here. Before you go, is there anything that residents needs to be aware of that's happening in D.C.? Anything you want to tell them?
Yeah, I expect some more of this, particularly today. So be alert, be aware. and reach out to us. But the other big thing is, let's stay connected. This is a tough time for our nation, but we will make it through this. We just got to stick together.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Ebony, where can people go to find out more about what you got coming on? Because you're actually going to be back on the show later on with me to talk about more things that are happening.
Yeah, a new federal rule that starts today. If you're flying in the U.S., you need to know what kind of ID you need. But you can follow me across social media at Ebony McMorris or see my latest stories at AURN.com.
Councilmember White, where can people find you across social?
Yes, indeed. CM Robert White, D.C., or across social media, and that is probably the best way to engage with me.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Sunny. Thanks, Evan.
Bye-bye.
What to talk about?